Hello. Here, I'm just getting things set up. Hmm. All right, so sorry for the delay. Unfortunately, having some internet problems. I'm sure everyone is on their internet right now. So, in the meantime, with the little time we got left, we are going to be, or at least I will be anyway. I'm going to be finishing up working on this woodcut block. Um, so after I'm still working on the texture of the fur. If you can't tell, it's Opossum holding a beer. I'm doing this for a commission for one of the local breweries. If you can't tell which one it is. But so I'm just going to be working on this in my very repetitive way that I go about doing the fur. And a lot of the details in this are going to be added once I actually get into the carving. So this is just a really simple, almost like a guideline, just to show me where I'm going to need to carve, because I'm not going to actually just cut out each and every single one of these lines. It's going to be, I'm going to carve details around them. So yeah, it's kind of a weird way to go about it, but it's how I like to do my texture in my fur or hair that I create in my monsters, people, whatever I'm working on. I should probably work down here more. I've been hogging up there. Um, let me make sure I have the live stream up so I can see if you guys are chatting with me. I see some people are hopping in. Um, Here we go. Whoa, there is where I'm talking. Okay, there we go. So yeah, if you want to chat, I will try to answer any questions you might have. I know a lot of people are not familiar with woodcut printmaking, so it's a bit of an odd one. Um, a valid question would be even, you know, what the heck is woodcut printmaking? uh, which is pretty much just like carving out wood to create almost like a stamp that you then use pressure to copy the image from the wood onto another surface. Now I don't do carvings live normally. I used to last year for sure. I did on live streams on other platforms like Twitch, but for like shows, I will take some of my woodcuts and I generally print them onto t-shirts, and then I go to all sorts of festivals, uh, music festivals. I've done 8035 the past few years, and I take my t-shirts, tank tops, bags, and all sorts of things I can get these things printed on and take them there to sell them. And it doesn't exactly make me the most money, but like with any kind of art, I don't necessarily do this because I'm in it for the money. I just really enjoy doing it. Um, it can definitely be stressful sometimes with how tedious this this art form is, but again, wouldn't be doing it if I didn't enjoy it. And if you're making art at home, or you have been making art at home during this crazy time in our world, please feel free to, send it to the Art Force page, in a message or on a post. Yeah, just let us know what you've been creating. We'd love to see it. This is my I guess I normally do um what am I trying to say here? Woodcut is my go-to, my regular art form that I work on. I have a side business called Toaster Press, but I've been trying to think of different ways to branch out during this time. I feel with the bonus amounts, I'm gonna use the word bonus, with the bonus amounts of free time at home that I have found myself with, I want to try to branch out and find something new, um, or something I'm not as great at, and work on that. Oh, I see. Art Force posted. Yeah, this part's kind of boring. Let's see. Let's work on these sunglasses. He could use some better glasses there. I kind of just put those there as a placeholder. My keyboard is on the floor though. Um, you know what? No, let's just make them up on ourselves. I don't need reference. Um, let's see. I don't know if anyone's in the chat, but should I make these more angular, more square? Like, how cool should these sunglasses be? Should they be like the weird, like, 90s, what is it, like the Matrix, and just have them be like those little squares? Just like, meh. Or maybe they, like, go up. They got. Let's have them go up like that. Yeah. Do we want like giant aviators? Hey there, Holly. Thank you for joining us. Some Ray-Bans. I guess, I was kind of thinking about making them solid and then creating the reflection in them, but I could just do like a really strong, um, thick frame, and then create like a white gutter around the inside so that people can see how thick those frames are. Also, I'm not using headphones or anything right now, so I can't hear myself. If I'm being too loud or too quiet, just let me know in the chat. and I will adjust accordingly. I think these need to go down a little bit further. Whoa, hey, we had a bunch more people pop on. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Apologies. Unfortunately, our artist Mento Fusco, I'm sure a lot of people are running into the same problem, but everyone's on the internet right now. So his internet is not cooperating with him at the moment. And I don't like that angle. I realized I didn't like. I realize possums don't necessarily have like the most expressive or really any eyebrows. I like to give my animals, monsters, all those kinds of thing human features. So I don't know what expression to give him. Maybe he's just like he's just chilling. Or maybe he's giving like the sassy eyebrow. Like whoop. Uh-huh. All good, Fusco. But a big switch here. Fusco, he does some amazing detailed work. Mine is definitely more on the cartoony side. All right. Where else? Let's work around. I kind of already got the tail how I want it to be. I'm gonna give him some lines just to kind of suggest the roundness of his tail. For sure, cartoons are the best. Fundamentals are definitely important too. Like that, like the angle of this doesn't necessarily match the angle of that. I don't even like that as much. But again, a lot of the things that happen in this preliminary drawing, I call this the preliminary drawing because when I get to the carving phase, and actually there's even a phase before that where I trace everything over with a Sharpie to give it, I work on my line weight more at that point. So Sharpie down with the line weight, which then completely changes the drawing. And then when I get to the point of carving, it changes again as I adjust to what, what my personal capabilities are and what like the capabilities of the material can do. So although I might have like all these super sharp lines, some of them may stay like that, may stay nice and sharp and clean. Some of them may change. I might have to change the angle of something. Just a lot of things change on the fly, and that's fine. You just got to be ready to work with what you got. Doesn't necessarily mean it's better or worse. Oop. Sorry, hold on a second. I didn't Sorry for the buzz. I don't know if I can. There we go. There, I'm silenced. Sorry about that. Let's do another one right up there. Right at the base of the tail. So what has everyone else been working on in the meantime? Maybe, or maybe even what would you like to work on in the meantime? I know sometimes with how stressful things get, maybe you don't. Some people use art as a way to de-stress. They find it therapeutic, but sometimes people need to be in a better place before they can make art. Um, I know I'm definitely more of the latter. I find it a hard time on Roy G. Biv colors. I find myself having a hard time working on my art when I am stressed out or, not having a great day. Even though, honestly, I probably would feel better if I worked on it, but just not in the mood. Roy G. Biv colors. I've actually seen some of the stuff that you've been working on. It's pretty neat. Bend that one up. I still haven't decided if I'm doing the fur on the arms. I probably need a little bit. I just don't want to kill this thing with texture. Or maybe I do. I don't know. Sorry for the shaky cam. I have all my tripods set up for my webcams, but I couldn't get them to work on a short notice, so I'm just using my phone for right now. Armper, yes. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and write arm fur, yes. I'm giving a thumbs up. I'm super cool. There you go. Arm fur, yes. Got it. No, I'm kind of working in the silent right now. I could definitely. Do you think tunes would be better? Let me know in the chat. And again, it looks like we've been having looks like a bunch of people hop in and out, which is great. I mean, people are probably being all sorts. They're probably all sort of busy today. So yes, feel free if you have any questions about what I'm doing. Again, I'm working on a woodcut block. It's a form of relief printmaking. So I have a 3-step process before I actually even get to my the printing itself. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but step 1, preliminary pencil drawing, which is what I'm doing right now. Step 2, I go over with a Sharpie to give it the line weight I need. And then step 3 is actual carving. I carve out everything that I don't want to print. So really, I'm like carving everything like out here. Everything that doesn't have a line on it has got to go. What material am I drawing on? I am drawing on medium density fiberboard, also known as MDF if you were to go to your local hardware store. MDF is a pretty popular material used in the construction of most like ready-made furniture. So if you have if you've bought like a bookshelf or, any kind of like side table from, if you bought one of those from like Target or IKEA, there's a good chance it's made out of MDF. It's essentially just a bunch of sawdust glued together. I like to use it instead of traditional hardwoods because it doesn't have a grain like regular wood would have. So without the grain, it makes it easier to carve and reduces the chance of the wood chipping or splitting, which is no fun after you've been working on a block forever and then you go to carve and then just like a chunk of wood pops off. Wood glue exists, but it can only do so much. And again, if you're just joining us, if you've been creating art during this time, or if you're creating art with me right now, please feel free to message it to the ArtFul Sidewood page. We'd love to see what you're working on, and we could even possibly showcase it. We would love to make art as a community. That's kind of the point of the ArtFul Connections program we're starting right now. It's mostly my hand. I need to remember to look at my phone to make sure that I'm pointing at the right place. Feel free to yell at me in the chat to move my phone. Or, if you got any other grievances, yeah, go for it. Yeah, those glasses are dead. He's almost looking more evil now. Or, I'm not sure if it's evil or sassy. What do you think? Evil, sassy? It almost looks like a tattoo on his arm. The arm for yes. Sassy, more sassy. Sassy possum. I want to make sure it keeps focused on the actual drawing itself instead of my weird thumb. Mischievous. Hey, there's Ron. Thanks for stopping in, Ron. And goodbye, Ron. I always find I work better too on my art. I work better when I am with people rather than alone. And I know not exactly hanging out with y'all right now, but no, it just helps to know that I don't know, other people are there, people are chatting. Okay, how about these claws? He's got his back claws. Maybe they need a little bit of angle to it. What got me interested in wood blocking? So I had never heard of it before until I got to college. I went to Iowa State for integrated studio arts. You know what? I'm just gonna change these up too. So I went to Iowa State for integrated studio arts, and during uh, your first year, when you get into that program, so technically it was actually technically my third year being there. When you get there, they have you take these half semester courses of every like art form that they offer, and one of them was or is printmaking. The my only experience with printmaking was, and I'm sure this is the same with a lot of people, screen printing. They're more familiar with screen printing. And so I've just figured, like, oh, cool, it's like a screen printing class. But I get into it, and they don't have anything there for screen printing during their core program. They offer other places within the university, but as far as the Iowa State College of Design goes, they don't do any screen printing there. We did all sorts of other things though. So our very first project was a solar relief. So in the same fashion that I'm using wood, the solar relief was a photosensitive board that, when exposed to light, like you would put like a transparency with an image on it, and then exposed to light, the rest of the board you would wash it away, and then you'd be left with, like I said, like a stamp, and you could use that to print on paper, fabric, whatever you could fit through the press without breaking it. Um, and I just right away fell in love with the relief process, and I wanted to see how I could push it further. So the next course I could take was woodcut printmaking, and I got into that, and I fell in love with it even more. I just loved that the being able to, you know, physically alter a I don't know, maybe alter isn't the word I'm looking for. I just like the fact that I could carve my image into something. It's not just like, you know, you draw a smiley face, like boop boop boop, and the smiley face is done. In this case, you have your initial drawing, you have the carving, you have the printing, and then all the troubleshooting that comes with printing. So it's just the multi-step process of being able to create something, and then in multiples. Like, I have some of my boards that are years old. I actually have some of my original ones, like some of my very first ones, around in my apartment. I'm trying to think if I got one sitting right next to me. I don't think I do. Um, I could take you on a really quick tour. So, like, this is sorry for the glare, but this is a woodcut print that I made, and then I colored in with watercolor. Now, there's multiple options on what you can use to color in your carvings. In this case, it was just a black and white print, and again, I went in with watercolor to finish it off. Where you have some other things, such as this one. This is a multi-block woodcut, or not a multi-block, I'm sorry, it's a reductive block. So I started off with a block of wood and I kept on printing it. I would print like the lightest color. So in this case, it would be that lightest brown. I would print that lightest brown and then carve that, everything that I wanted to stay that away, print the next darkest color, carve it again, the next darkest color, carve it again. And so you'd get this built up image with all of these colors included. And so it's just ink on ink on ink, just layered up. And it kind of gives it a cool effect that you can't really see in this live stream. And here, let me. So I'm making the camera go black so I don't mess with the people who have motion sickness. So here we go. So here is that block from that first one where I painted it in with watercolor. This is the block that I used to print it with. Now you can see that it, you know, the surface that has been carved away. And the texture it kind of creates. This is one of my very early ones, so this one is probably pushing, gosh, I don't know, eight-ish years old. So, yeah, so that, and this is after it's got ink and everything on it too, so, eventually this guy will look something like that. Ugh, there we go. So that was a very long way of answering that question. There you go. That's how I got interested in woodcut printmaking. Oh, okay, it looks like we only have just 2 minutes, probably less than 2 minutes left at this point. If anyone has any last minute questions or comments or anything, please let me know. And again, if you've been creating art, please share it with us. We'd love to see it. Doesn't necessarily even have to have been today while you're working with me. If you've been working on anything, we'd love to see what the community's working on. But, and of course, everyone stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed me just blabbering on for like 40 or 50 minutes. And drawing triangles. Or upside down V's, I don't know. Whatever you're into. Well, all right. Until next time. Hopefully, I'll have a lot of this. So I'll be live again. I'm scheduled for Friday, so maybe you'll see this completely filled in by then, and we'll get to the line weight and maybe even some carving. But again, thank you all for joining me. If you do have any questions, even after we're done live streaming, feel free to message the ArtForce Iowa page or comment on this video, and we'll get back to you. Thanks so much. Have a great day.